So God went and found the only kid he could find that kept hanging out at the front door of the tabernacle to see what he looked like. And he went, that's the kid I'll have a relationship with now, because I've always just want to show people my heart. I don't want to show people my stuff. I want to show them my heart. I don't want to show them what I can do. I want to show them who I am. I can do stuff all day long, but I want you to know me. That was Paul's prayer. Paul goes, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection. I mean, Paul's living in a world with physical miracles, and yet he still goes, not good enough. I want to know him. I don't want to see him do stuff. I want to know him. I don't just want to see him raise the dead. We got it backwards in the church. Well, if I could see him raise the dead, I'd really know him. And the early church and the people in the Old Testament all the way through, it was never about getting to see it. When it became about getting to see him to do stuff, it was because Israel was so wrapped up in stinking religion, they didn't know the heartbeat of God. Can I chase this little rabbit for a second? I think Jesus comes into a world. I don't want to be here very long because this is a little bit of a side trail, so bring me back, all right? If it's 11:45, so if it hits 12:45, bring me back. It's a 60-minute side trail. No, God says to Israel, I am the God that healeth thee. And Israel remembers that. God wraps himself in human flesh, comes on the scene as a man named Jesus. Jesus goes about doing good and healing all who were oppressed of the devil. What does Jesus do? He heals the sick. Why? Because God made a promise to Israel. I am the God that healeth thee. But did you notice he's aiming for Jews when he heals them? Gentiles get in on it, but they got to squeeze their way to the crumbs of the table. It's like that Syrophoenician woman. And she goes, yeah, but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. And Jesus says, good call. You can have a crumb. Yeah, children's bread. A crumb from Jesus do way more than a truck full of bread from someone else. And so Jesus flicks a crumb and her daughter's healed. So it shows you for God, that's easy. But it's amazing. You watch the Gospels, Jesus comes along healing Israel. Why? Because God made a covenant. I'm the God that healeth thee. So to prove he was the God from Sinai, he had to be healing people in the natural. To the rest of the world, what's the new covenant? Whosoever believes in me shall not perish, but have everlasting life. What's the new covenant promise you? You get to have the life of God. It's not that I just heal you so you can have longer life. It's that you get to have the life of God. So the new covenant promise is, not I'm the God that healeth thee, though I believe God heals. The promise of our covenant is, I get to experience the life of God. I think that's a glorious thing. So for the New Testament writers, it wasn't about, boy, if we could just see God do some miracles, we'd believe in God. No, it was, I'm seeing God do miracles. I want to know him. And that's almost backwards to our thinking. They saw the miracles, but they wanted to know the God behind it. And that's all God's ever been looking for. It's the equivalent of your kids. This would blow your mind. Just wanting to talk to you and not wanting to get something out of you. Would you're suspicious immediately. Like your kid goes, can we just talk? And you go, oh God. So this is either really bad news or this little snake's up to something. What are you trying to get out of me? And just the thought that, you mean you really just wanted to spend time with me? And I know we run the risk of bringing God as a parent down to our level, but God's always been good at coming down to our level because that's the only way we're going to understand him, because if we got to go up to his level, it's all over with. So God brings himself down to our level so many times ago. Here's how I feel about you because I know how you feel about your kids. And it's such this glorious relationship that we get to have.